you doing? This is Slim Overton, and coming from the Portsmouth Coffee Talk, and just want to come on here live at this moment. And last night, of course, the president gave his State of the Union address. Um, y'all can take it for what it's worth. I thought it was just like a campaign speech or just a lot about nothing, not really addressing some of the issues that are really pressing. It was more like him uh, doing his same old thing, telling lies. But I wanted to focus in on what he did with the U.S. hockey team, and congratulations for them winning the gold. But you really have to pay attention to what's going on. The hockey team, the men's hockey team, won the gold, and he flew them in from Italy to the State of the Union address, and took a considerably amount of time addressing them, which maybe they should have been addressed. But did you all pay attention to the fact that the women weren't there? The women won the gold first. They won the gold medal first. And it wasn't until the men won it, like 3 days later, that the president actually called the locker room and congratulated them, and even threw in the fact that they would have to invite the women too, or he might be impeached. And using that, those people that went out there, athletes that went out there and fought hard and brought home the gold as political pawns, as I saw it, bringing the men to the State of the Union, and granted, they deserve the recognition. But what about the women? Now, the women got the invitation after the men got the invitation, although they won their gold medal before the men. And the women, wisely, in my opinion, chose not to attend. Because of that, the women already, listening to the spokesperson from the women's hockey team, already was citing some facts that the women don't get the equal treatment as far as travel arrangements and who handles the luggage and things like that, the little simple things that the men have all those accommodating. They don't have to worry about that. All they have to do is play hockey. So that's another issue that they have to deal with. To acknowledging them personally when they won, but acknowledging the men when they won personally by the phone call, and then you had the FBI director in there jumping around and shouting. And granted, I'm not trying to take anything away from the victory of the men. I think it's exciting. The Olympics in itself is something to be proud of, the winter and the summer. And I can't imagine what happens when the summer comes up in 2028, when a lot of black athletes shine, really, really shine. And how's that going to be? You know, we just have to. It'll be an interesting time. I hope the athletes go out there and do their best and compete like they usually do. But then have all this uh, political uh, pandering around that, using that as a political way of getting your point across. That's what we're going to see from the president, but we'll wait till that happens. But I just wanted you all to be aware, because the first thing I wondered when he was talking to the men, what about the women? I seen a report that the women had won already the gold, but it was no real big fanfare, at least from his administration, about that. In the world it was, and people that pay attention to that knew, but then, or himself personally, they were after fact. And that's why I don't blame them for refusing to go. and be used as political pawns, as the representative said. You can go on YouTube and find the women's team team's response to the president, and you can see it for yourself. But I just wanted to point that out and let you know all these people and the way they were standing up and after every lie, was just amazing. It's just as a country, you know, it's just mind-boggling to witness this, and I'm grateful to be alive, but to be alive to witness what we are seeing, and other people, you might have your opinions and think things are great, but if you're really living in reality, you know that the things that he was saying last night was not true. If you're living in reality, if you're someone that may, um, will flourish regardless of what the economy looks like because you are financially stable and set. And a lot of people are because they have made decisions early in their life as far as investments and saving and making sure that they would be comfortable. And I applaud those people. And that's something that we all should do or strive for is financial stability because of the way of the way the world can be and financially. You have to set yourself up. But not everybody is in that position to do that. A lot of people have to depend on help, have to depend on their earnings, their hard work earnings to survive, to support their families. And it's made more difficult when prices um, continuously rising. Now, prices have always been rising. We can go back to childhood when we talk now about, man, I remember when it was 5 cents to do this, but that was over years of 50 years that I can talk about that. But when you're seeing from one year to the next, a spike in smaller percentage, that can make a difference in your daily life and how you budget and save your money and support your family. And for the most America by how they see him. If you really look at it, I guess some people, if it's something that's working in your favor, you tend to overlook that. But you know, integrity and just moral part of it, you know, why are so many people letting this go? I think a lot of people are seeing it and waking up, and and hopefully that reflect in the midterm elections. And even if we turn that over, we still have to hold whoever, if it's the Democrats are in charge, we have to hold them accountable as well. But hopefully we won't have to sit back and look at what we're looking at now as much, even though the president will still be there. Um, some people say, even if changes, what difference will that make? Because he's not listening to the Congress now. He's just doing what he wants to do. But I think if you have enough people in Congress, and that's to be seen, that can overrule and things that some of the Congress doesn't have or won't do now because they're on his side, we might gradually see some change or stripping of some of the things that he's trying to do. I just wanted to come on and make mention of that. It's a whole lot that can be talked about, and you can tune in to all the national shows, especially the independent journalists that are out there now that are telling truth to power. And you can sort of get more of a reality reporting from those outlets than you can some of the other media concerns that are controlled by some of the richest people in the world that are on Trump's side. But just make sure that you remember that one fact about what happened with the hockey teams, the men's and the women's, and how I feel the women were disrespected. And that should tell you a lot about where this administration is and who they care about. Anytime that the women win first, and it's no mention of them from you until the men win, and then you say, okay, we got to add, and I don't care if you were joking or not, that still was an insult because the action, speaks for itself. Waiting till the men win and congratulate them personally, and then you invite the women. But thank God our women are the ones that usually, and if you think about it, all through history, women have always been the backbone. They've always tried to legally put them in their place, but if it weren't for the women, where would this country be? And a lot of them are the ones that are really speaking up, and I applaud the women's hockey team for not accepting the invitation to be there to be used as a political pawn. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Of course, this is Portsmouth Coffee Talk, and this is Slim. And make sure that you support us and like and subscribe to Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Also to some of our other platforms here on YouTube, like the Slim Nation One-on-Ones Experience. And, of course, our take on it, featuring Slim and Shona. These are some of the other platforms or channels that we have here on YouTube. And make sure you support each one of us, all of us, or pick one that you thinks best serves you and support that. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. And take care.